The question of why the long and intense hostility between India and Pakistan cannot end is not merely emotional, but deeply rooted in logic, history, and ideology. The origins of this enmity lie in the partition of the Indian subcontinent, the political realities that followed, the imbalance of power and the ideological divide between the two nations. Behind it are not only the mutual conflicts of two countries, but also powerful individuals, groups, and institutions whose interests depend on keeping this hostility alive. The partition of 1947 remains one of the greatest human tragedies in history, where an estimated 10 to 15 lakh people were killed, over 14 million were displaced, and thousands of women faced abduction, rape, and forced conversions. These horrors became part of collective memory and were passed down through generations in the form of resentment and hate. While nations like Germany and France reconciled after the Second World War, India and Pakistan have never managed to bury their painful past. Pakistan was founded on the two-nation theory, while India embraced the idea of secular democracy. This ideological difference has become integral to both nations' identities. The rise of Hindu nationalism in India continues to fuel hatred against Muslims and Pakistan, while in Pakistan, India is portrayed as an eternal enemy and a force hostile to Islam. Kashmir remains the central symbol of this conflict. The wars of 1947, 1965, and 1999 were all fought over this region. India considers Kashmir an inseparable part of its territory, while Pakistan regards it as a disputed land and supports the right of self-determination for Kashmiris. Since 1989, the ongoing insurgency and militancy in the region have claimed countless lives and deepened mistrust. For both armies, this enmity provides justification for their dominance. In Pakistan, hostility toward India legitimizes an ever-growing defense budget, while in India, border tensions and military assertiveness serve political purposes. Consequently, both establishments and certain political groups benefit from keeping the conflict alive. Global powers such as the United States, Russia, and China have also used this rivalry for their strategic and economic interests. During the Cold War, Pakistan aligned with the United States, while India was closer to the Soviet Union. Today, China's partnership with Pakistan through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor poses a major challenge to India, while the United States views India as a counterbalance to China's influence. The hostility between India and Pakistan is among the world's longest and most complex disputes. Not merely a border issue, but a convergence of history, ideology, military interests, politics, and global power struggles. As long as these fundamental factors remain, genuine reconciliation appears nearly impossible. The differences and contradictions between India and Pakistan are deeply tied to their history, politics, and the ongoing regional conflicts. Both nations see each other as the greatest threat to their national security and survival, and this perception has only deepened with time. For decades, Pakistan's military relied on proxy warfare through militant groups such as Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. The 2008 Mumbai attacks, which killed 166 people, were linked to these groups, bringing Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI under international criticism. In 2019, following the Pulwama attack, India carried out airstrikes inside Pakistan, pushing both nations once again to the brink of war. The balance of power has steadily shifted in India's favor. Its economy is 10 times larger, and its defense budget 7 times higher than Pakistan's. India plays an active role in global platforms like the G20, Quad, and BRICS, while Pakistan remains trapped in economic crises, IMF bailouts, and political instability. This disparity continues to deepen hostility. Both countries possess nuclear weapons, and incidents such as Kargil and Balakot have shown that even small-scale conflicts risk escalating into a nuclear confrontation. Although these weapons may deter full-scale war, they also make lasting peace unattainable, as political and military leaders on both sides remain locked in mutual suspicion and fear. Ideologically, the two nations are polar opposites. Pakistan defines itself as an Islamic republic where educational narratives depict India as an enemy, while India's growing Hindutva movement led by groups like the RSS and the BJP, weaponizes anti-Pakistan sentiment for political gain. The BJP frequently uses nationalism and anti-Pakistan rhetoric during elections, while in Pakistan, the state institutions use hostility toward India to justify defense spending and preserve their power. Recent global conditions have added new layers to this tension. South Asia faces severe water shortages and flooding. Melting glaciers and unpredictable rains threaten both nations and intensify disputes over the Indus River's water rights, which could become another battleground in the future. Meanwhile, the renewed Cold War between the United States and China has divided the region further. India now aligns closely with the US and Western alliances, while Pakistan depends heavily on China through projects like CPEC. This geopolitical rivalry has turned South Asia into a stage for major power competition. Middle Eastern conflicts have also influenced both nations' foreign policies. India has become a close partner of Israel, especially in defense and intelligence cooperation, while Pakistan maintains traditional support for Palestine and the broader Muslim world. Issues involving Iran, the Gulf states, and Afghanistan further complicate their conflicting interests. Therefore, the India-Pakistan rivalry is not limited to their shared past or regional disputes. It is woven into a broader global context involving history, ideology, military strategy, economic disparity, resource competition, and international politics. Until these fundamental and global dynamics change, the possibility of true peace and cooperation between the two nations remains extremely fragile. The military establishments in both countries stand as major obstacles to peace. In Pakistan, the army exerts influence over civilian governments and uses enmity with India as justification for its political role. In India, defense and intelligence agencies harbor deep suspicion toward Pakistan, especially after repeated terror incidents. The media in both nations amplifies hostility rather than harmony, fueling nationalism through sensationalism, and anyone advocating peace is labeled weak or a traitor. Extremist groups on both sides dismiss reconciliation as betrayal or cowardice. Hindu nationalists in India and jihadist factions in Pakistan both frame peace as ideological defeat. Yet there are potential pathways for cooperation. Trade, sports, and cultural exchanges could strengthen ties and foster understanding. However, these efforts often collapse with trade, visa policies, and cultural programs suspended whenever tensions rise. Without resolving the core dispute of Kashmir, such initiatives bring only temporary emotional relief rather than permanent progress. There is no solution to Kashmir that satisfies both nations. Pakistan refuses to abandon support for separatists, while India will never compromise on its claim of sovereignty. The result is an ongoing proxy war, with nuclear deterrence trapping the region in a dangerous stalemate. The tragic reality is that geography made these two countries neighbors, but history, politics, ideology, and fear made them perpetual enemies. Not only their governments, but their people too, have become prisoners of this hostility. Although large-scale war can likely be avoided, the chances of genuine and lasting friendship appear almost non-existent. This is one of the world's rare conflicts that seems to have no foreseeable end, a struggle destined to continue for generations to come. The need of the hour is for both nations and their people to rise above propaganda, embrace truth, and contribute sincerely to peace, humanity, and mutual respect, so that one day the cycle of hatred may finally break.